We shift our focus to small caps now with our eye on Orion Minerals, focused on the supply of future-facing metals. The company holds a portfolio of high-quality development and exploration assets in South Africa's Northern Cape, with mineral rights including known deposits of copper, zinc and PGM elements, amongst others. Now, CEO Anthony Lennox joined Zinati for a look into Orion Minerals. Here's that conversation.
Orion has been over the last 10 years developing a portfolio of tenements in the Northern Cape with our flagship operation, or flagship tenement, the Prieska deposit near Prieska in the Northern Cape. We also have the O'Keepe deposits just north of Springbok, and we have the Yako Minespan projects that sit between Prieska and Uppington. So over the last 10 years, we've been pulling those together. Our journey now is about embarking on converting those to producing mining companies. Now, our laser focus at the moment is on bringing Prieska into operation and producing concentrate by Christmas 2026.
All right. Well, that's quite interesting. And actually, just talk to me. I mean, as you're talking about those assets that you're working with right now, Prieska and O'Keepe, what is the scope for the growth of those assets? And exactly what is the main concentration here? Is it copper? But also, can you broaden the scope of your assets in the long run?
Yes, we can, Zinati. The Prieska and O'Keepe projects, they are great icons from the South African mining industry. They've been around for many years, and they offer wonderful potential for the Northern Cape. Our job is to firstly get them into production, and that will be led by Prieska, our flagship, but O'Keepe will be very shortly thereafter. And the scope of those tenements, the Prieska ore body is rather fabulous and is an absolute world-class VMS deposit. It was worked for many years. It's been standing idle now for 30, and we will be bringing that online, and as I said, looking toward concentrate by Christmas 2026. O'Keepe has also a very illustrious history, and we hold now, after the work of the last few years, a very large tenement portfolio around O'Keepe, Narberbeep, north of Springbok. And they are a different style of deposit in that region, but nevertheless very important. So earlier this year, we completed a DFS that pulls together several discrete deposits, and the plan is to beneficiate, concentrate the material through a single concentrator. So we will, in the not too distant future, we'll have Prieska in operation, and then we'll have O'Keepe in operation, and the benefit is just outstanding for the Northern Cape.
Okay. Right now, your major focus is copper. How much runway is there for diversification in those metals?
There is room for diversification, and both those deposits, both Prieska and O'Keepe have varying metals in there. So they both carry gold and silver. Prieska also carries zinc as well. So we will have a substantial presence in those base metals. Our Yako Minespan project, which is further back in the pipeline, it is the one that has all of the future-facing metals, the PGMs and the alike. And whilst it is important, because we're a junior company, you know, it is a matter of crawl, walk, run, and when we get those primary assets into production, we will then have sufficient breadth and depth to develop the other ones as well.
Well, I mean, as you are gearing up for production and sales next year already, what do your short to medium term working capital requirements and priorities look like?
We are a junior miner, so all the juniors work hard in acquiring capital, ensuring the market with confidence in what we are doing. So our working capital is very much focused on it's being directed toward Prieska uppers production and ensuring that the follow-on to O'Keepe is equally as strong. In that arena, we are bringing to bear in the work we do capital discipline. So when investors give us capital, we are very conscious of dealing with that money extremely judiciously. So we have underway, as we speak, processes around project execution governance, processes around operational readiness, terms that are well known with disciplined mining organisations, and of course, always along the way, value engineering.
I mean, as you're talking about investors giving you capital, I do note that Orion Minerals is undergoing a capital raising exercise, launching a share purchase plan and a placement. Talk to me about the decision to go with this route of capital raising.
The share purchase plan and capital raising is a bridge, and it is designed to see us through to full funding of our projects, firstly Prieska, then O'Keepe. So it is an important part of our life. As I said earlier, we juniors do have to work very hard for capital. So when we ask for capital, a bridge to the major capital acquisition, that's what it's all about. It's about ensuring that we've got adequate funds so that then when it is time to execute, we have full funding and we can do it efficiently and expeditiously.
And still on this trail of funding, let's look at the debt profile then on the balance sheet. And I do note that Orion recently secured an unsecured loan facility from Tani that investors didn't seem too happy about. But I also highlight that some of the outstanding loans then will be converted to equity under the placement. Then what does your debt profile look like there?
Look, our debt profile is under control. We have fundamental cornerstone investors. The IDC is very much part and parcel of our organisation, and they have a very strong, helpful agenda around seeing us live and in production in the Northern Cape. We also have funding provided by Triple Flag Precious Metals. Once again, very helpful, very supportive, and we look forward to that. Our larger funding and the alike is the subject of current discussion, so I can't go into that in too much detail for you in this arena. But suffice to say, it is moving steadfastly toward a good outcome, and we are looking forward to the support of the major funding.
All right. I mean, I do note that obviously you have a diversification element to your metals, but really there's been a huge focus on copper, particularly being a very, very significant metal in the green energy landscape. So let's talk about the dynamics of the copper market and really where you see copper supply and demand going, and how then that should influence price direction in which you are aiming to kind of get some revenues in from that.
The global dynamics are at best described complicated. You know, when you look at recent elections and, you know, people in charge of different parts of the globe, it is a complex market. We are, if you look at the price of copper over the last 150 years, it has been a bellwether of economic growth. You know, it has been referred to as Dr. Copper by some personnel, and it is, in my view of the world, after having a number of years in the mining sector, it is an absolute. The red metal is a wonderful metal to be in business with. The issues around, you know, whether there are many people who speculate on the copper industry, supply, demand, production, all the rest of it. But over the years, you know, some people at this point in time are saying that it is cheap to where metals have risen since the global financial crisis. Its relationship with the US dollar, you know, it's always been an inverse relationship, and so how it relates to the valuation of the US dollar. But more importantly, when you deal with fundamentals, the growth in electrification, the growth in data centers, the growth in AI, it is all good tidings, in my view of the world, for copper, particularly when you look at things like investors wanting good returns. The price on copper, there's been much speculation about where copper may get to in the next 12 or 18 months. And the focus for Orion is to be well down the cost curve, to ride out the cycles, and to ensure that our production goes into the market with a reputable concentrate that is a reliable safe haven for pricing. So Orion will be positioning itself so copper production is always good across the commodity cycle on copper, zinc, and our other metals.
That was Anthony Lennox, CEO of Orion Minerals.